Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. We're here. We're feebly here. Hey, Sapphire, Mr. Magoo, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going, y'all? Happy weekend here. I'm still sick. I'm getting better though. I'm quite a bit better. But yeah, it was nice. It was good that I took the last couple days off. Still not totally back, so this will probably be a short one, but I figured it's important to, keep up the regularity. And if I can't stream on Saturday, when can I stream, right? All right, well, I'm full of coffee and I'm ready to go, so let's try to salvage something. How's everyone doing today? All right, so what I want to do, I don't know why we're down in the auto tiler here. I'm all right, Mr. Magoo. How are you doing? This is the first time I've had like a long, lingering cold. I've had it for like a week now. I think I got it right after Thanksgiving. And then I started feeling it about a week ago. And I've just been lingering. A lingering cold. Yeah. Usually when I get sick, I get like the 24-hour virus or whatever. I'm like really sick for a day and then I'm fine. This is my first time. Getting just... Oh well. It coincides with like a record-breaking cold here for us for this time of year, so I think it's just my body being weak. Being unable to handle the coming winter before it's even here. All right, so what I think I want to do today, I think I want to move forward with this grouping things in the system groups. Systems that get triggered together based on like some game state. I'm just going to put them in here. I'm going to put their shared data in the group. I think that's fine. I should probably implement some interfaces or something to like maintain some like consistent behavior between them. But I think this is how we're going to do it. There's a couple other things I want to do that should be pretty easy. Yeah, system group is just going to be like an orchestrating holder of all the systems that might run. And I think my idea with that is that certain systems might run in multiple groups, just in slightly different contexts. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that yet, but I'm thinking we'll do something like that. So one thing we got to do is we got to write the buffer 2Ds, which I think we can do by just copying these. I think I'm going to duplicate my 3D buffers and write 2D versions of them real quick. I still want to split my ECS off into its own like solution or project. Use it, treat it like a plugin. I don't quite understand how that works with C#. The way Godot implements it. Like if it's a Godot plugin, I gotta point this solution to that solution somehow. They're not part of the same solution. Shows how much I know about dependency management. All right, so we did make a rect, a 2D rect is like our 2D version of our axis aligned bounding box. It's just a rectangle. We need this. So we made this last time. That was pretty easy. We basically just cloned the AABB. We're going to do the same kind of thing here, but we're going to do it down in here. Yeah, I really want to split the underlying types out from the current implementation in this project. And it's going to get even more complicated because I want to make multiple projects within this one project. We have our side project, Lo-Fi Flyby. I don't want to have to put it in a separate project, but I could if we just do this plugin thing. Kind of annoying. I'm kind of rambling, but it's kind of a rambly day. My options are to ramble or to be dead quiet. I feel like if I lose track of my train of thought, I'm not going to find it again. All right, we're just going to copy all this over and then change it. I don't want to rewrite it line by line. I'll just go in and fix it. So it's not going to be an AABB. So here's one of the immediate changes. It's going to be a rect. Short for rectangle here. Copy that. Change this to 2D. Let's go through line by line, figure this out. Buffer 2D component, iBuffer 3D component, iBuffer 2D component. Oh, we don't have one of these. We need one of those. I'm gonna duplicate this. Where's the duplicate button? I just Control D. That does not do what I think it does. Whatever. We'll duplicate this as well. Hey, Sapphire. You're breaking down. You're looking on Godot shaders.com for something that will work for your outlines for now. You'll still have to decide what you'll do for the actual game, but you need to go working on other things. This style guide, and you want some outlines. Did manage to find something that's extremely close to what you were looking for? Yeah, that's not a problem. All of these problems can be solved with depth buffers, right? Oops, that was the wrong one. I changed the wrong one. But yeah, I appreciate the desire to just move on. I'm the opposite, you know. That's why we're in the situation where we're currently in. Because I'll be like, let's drill into that. Let's drill down into that. Is this really the only thing this is gonna enforce? Should it enforce a buffer ID? Oh, the iBuffer component enforces the buffer ID, right? Right? Yeah. Cool. All right. Sorted that out. So length is not AABB.volume. Length is rect.area. Sapphire, you'll be making your own thing with the actual game. You just don't have the brain power for that right now. It's literally just going to be a reference. No, that's a great reason to just use whatever. That's a very good reason to just use something and move on. So I'm doing the read write. Yeah, I'll have to make a read only after this. I think most of this is the same. Yeah, except where it calls into bounding box. Rect contains coords. Oh, do you not take a 3D? You take a 2. Hmm. That requires an explicit downcast, huh? So I guess your coordinates are actually 2D coordinates, huh? Okay. Good to know, good to know. Because it's ignorant of the third dimension here. 2D chords. What are you thinking of what are you thinking of doing next, Sapphire, for prototyping? I've been thinking a lot about how our new block paradigm, because it gets rid of the very explicit levels, because what we had before is we had, you know, deck plate bulk space, quote unquote, right? That was either a wall or it was nothing or whatever. We had that affordance where every block was a floor plate and then a space above it. And so each layer was very explicit, like each you know, stratified level is very, very, it's just a plane, right? It was just consistent. But our new process, which is, you know, it's a lot more like Minecrafty, where it's individual blocks getting laid down and there's no overarching, there's no strict like lattice structure that's like that particular pattern of empty space floor. And so it means like the interior spaces of places are very implied. We're going to rely a lot on the compartmentalization of everything. And so reasoning about a space is going to be a lot more implicit, which is interesting. Or I guess maybe it's not implicit. We'll have to explicitly describe, like, here's the space you're interested in, because we can't make assumptions the same way we could before. I think it'll be fine. It's just a different way of thinking about things. And it's affecting the way I'm thinking about input and like the way the viewing system works. Like we're gonna make a lot of changes. It's gonna be good though. Sapphire, you're probably gonna be trying to make a different character model. What you have now is just a placeholder, really? Okay. Placeholders are good. That's what we're doing, right? Placeholder shader, placeholder model. You want to get the mechanics together, right? Start exploring the space. This looks mostly right. There's one error here. Oh, it's because there's no buffer 2D read-only. Easy. Does look like what you were trying to learn and implement for your edge detection shader. A Sobel filter was on the right track. A couple shaders you found so far uses it. Nice, nice. There's no gameplay right now, just a visual reference for the moment. Since visuals is where you've always been stalled at in a project, you're getting them out of the way first. Okay, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. That is my recommendation. You know, I know you've taken that recommendation of just the make the style guide. Make, like, even if it's just dumb, even if it's just like a flat image, just something that captures the vibe you're going for that you can look at and think about because we've been working out the consequences of this space for like a year, right? We were like, huh, this is an interesting space. How would we actually build this space out? Now we're finally getting to that point. We'll actually be able to represent like this kind of rise in the middle too. It'll be neat. We wouldn't have been able to do this before. Hey, Chris Knife. So what you're really saying is that with your new changes to blocks, you're now making a voxel game? Absolutely not. Banned. Absolutely not. You'll never get me to admit it. Why did I say this was an interface? That's super wrong. Oops. Happy Saturday, Chris Knife. Minecraft clone with spaceships. There's so many problems we don't have to think about at all because we're not making that. If we were trying to make some kind of virtually infinite world thing, we'd be in such a different... We'd be in a world of hurt is where we'd be. There's so much stuff we can just ignore. We don't have to care about. Like, yeah, we technically have chunks. We have 64 by 64 by 64 chunks. But our whole like quote unquote battle area is like a 3 by 3 grid of chunks. If I'm feeling spicy, maybe I'll make it a 3 by 3 by 3 grid. I don't think so. I've been thinking about that a little more lately. Adding more verticality. Adding verticality not just within the ship, but verticality into the arrangement of the ships. But I don't know. I think that's too much. I think that might be too much. I think just a flat 3 by 3 board is probably better. So that's the sort of questions we're going to answer later on down the line. That's something we get to stew on for a long time. I feel like calendar time is a super crucial part of game design. And by calendar time, I mean like wall clock time. I mean like just time passing. Okay, so why here our hash code is just based off of the buffer ID? I feel like we did something else with the read write. Yeah, we combined our rect with our buffer ID. Why don't we do that here? Oh, and here our equality is only... I mean, I guess buffer ID is sufficient to determine equality, but that seems weird. Yeah, let's do both. Journey, you're actually here now. Welcome. Been walking the dogs. You think I'll be able to figure it out pretty quickly if flat grid isn't enough once you get that point of dev? Yeah, I think just from a player's standpoint, I think it's one thing to have like someone's on my left, someone's behind me and on the right, and like yeah, you could do something with verticality, but I think that's like a bridge too far. I don't think it's that interesting, and it complicates a lot. So I'd be surprised if we do it. Oh, so we do that here. Why do we not do that here? Weird. Also, when you were talking about your plugin earlier, wouldn't it just be a NuGet package? You don't know much about the C# package management space. Yeah, I don't know. It's the extent to which it's also a Godot plugin. Like, I understand how I would just do a C# package by itself. It's the like the interaction of the two, the intersection of the two that I don't totally understand. But that's just because I haven't looked into it at all. I'm just talking out loud. Come on, autocomplete. If I add a space, you don't also need to add a space, yo. Oh, here's some functions that don't make any sense for the 2D version. The get absolute and get relative. We're going to ignore those for now. I don't know if that makes sense to have in a 2D context. How's everything going, Random Journey? Hope everyone's having a chill Saturday. I'm still kind of sick, so we're having a pretty chill. Okay, just try get absolute and try get relative. We're also not going to do this. You know, we probably should eventually support it, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. This is fine for now. We're setting these buffer 2Ds up so that we can set up our little bit field that covers our chunks. We're going to have this 64 by 64 bit field that's like a simple like occupancy, you know, bit for each block. Just a simple like, is there a block here? Since we kind of have to iterate through the whole space, we might as well have a simple check for continuing. I don't know if we really care about it, but we're going to do it. But yeah, the thing we're working on right now is we're trying to switch from this compound block, like I talked about, where there's like a deck plate, and then there's like this upper bulk section, and a ship is just a series of these vertically stacked. That was getting weird. It was getting hard to deal with that structure, so we're simplifying it down to just a block is a block, and it's either occupied or not, and an empty space is obviously more of an emergent property of the overall block space than it is an affordance given to each block. Whereas before it was like, if you were a block, you had this deck space and this bulk space. And you could fill it, you could not, you could partially fill it. Switching to a much more simple fundamental structure, which is good for a lot of things. And it's going pretty good. You're going to be roasting a whole duck. Ooh, wow, for the first time. Getting ready to pop that into the oven. You're going to be watching Frankenstein tonight. Ooh, yeah, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. That was fun. That was fun. Fun is maybe the wrong word. It was good. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're if you like the Guillermo del Toro's style. I liked it. You've been saving it? Nice. Yeah. Yeah, we watched my partner and I watched the first half of Wake Up Dead Man last night. It came to Netflix yesterday. That's so far been pretty good. We're old though. We're old, so we watch movies in like 2 sittings now. Sometimes. We'll watch the other half of it tonight. It's been fun. All right, okay, so we have our little helper structures here. Why don't I explicitly implement the... Oh, right. I'm dumb. Okay. So I understand how this interface works. Okay, cool. Yeah, we've got our 2D buffers. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up this buffer of bitfield 64s. We're going to call them something. Time to spend half the stream thinking of a name. No, we're not doing that. You watched the 1997 The Shining miniseries over the last few nights. It was really good. So much better than the movie. Really? 'Cause the movie is like pretty seminal. I might have to check that out. Sapphire, you've been enjoying Babylon 5. You're planning on watching some more tonight. I am really glad to hear that. That is always a risky recommendation to people. That is a show that you love, or you just don't, or you just bounce off completely, I feel. But yeah, I'm really glad. I got my Blu-ray boxed set of Star Trek The Next Generation, the remastered version. It is incredible what they've done with the remaster. Like, they've redone all of the effects from, like, the original film. Like, it looks so good. It is crazy how good it looks. I mean, it's cheesy as hell, especially the first season. But, yeah, I've begun a full series rewatch from episode 1. I'm just going linearly through it since I've got the box set. It's like a lot of discs. They can fit like 4 or 5 episodes a disc, and there's 26 episodes a season. So I was like, I'm not going to manage this. We're just going to go through the whole show. It's been fun. I'm enjoying it. I've been watching one of those like a day. It's been great. Brandon, you feel like the guy did better than Jack Nicholson? That's your hot take of the day. I don't think that's that hot a take. I think that's fine. Jack Nicholson's not the best part of that movie. Sapphire, it's a show you could see yourself getting discs for and adding them to your Jellyfin server. Oh yeah, I have the whole show on DVD as well. Mainly because that's a hard show to find in good quality. There is no good quality version of it. The best you can do is buy like the DVDs. It's a shame. That show is never going to be remastered. I think they lost the original film of it. They don't have the effects anymore either. It's a shame. But Star Trek TNG still looks really good because most of the effects are like physical effects still. At least when the show starts. We'll see how it looks over time. It's been pretty incredible to watch. I've really enjoyed it. All right, so we've got our little stuff. Oh yeah, we were gonna make one more thing. We were gonna make my bit field 3D thing. What are we gonna call that? That's kind of like, it's like a block space occupancy. I don't know. It's really just like a bit field or bit volume or something, but I need to give it a specific name because the component needs to have a specific name because I can only have one of them per component. So we can have however many buffer 2Ds of bit fields that we want. We can have them all day. We can have as many as we want on an entity, but the problem is we just have to give them each a unique component. Which is another reason why I want to split the CCS implementation out from the game. I don't want to keep all of these all these components with the like actual structure of the ECS. Hey Arneo, today's connections puzzle was impossible. Connections puzzle? How's it going? The horror between the family in the Shining miniseries feels more intimate and believable. Okay, I could watch that. I'm a big Kubrick fan, so it's like, it's weird for me to imagine someone else doing it, but I'll check it out. I think I'm going to be rewatching Apocalypse Now at some point too, just apropos of nothing. Occasionally it just pops into my head. I should have watched it this weekend or last weekend when I was sick, because I've just been in kind of this like, that kind of weird delusional kind of fog where I think I could have put on like a 3-hour movie and I would have just fallen in and out of consciousness and would have just enjoyed it. There's always today. Rhiannon, Star Trek TNG looks good. And then you have the scene where Picard plays the flute and they have someone else's hands actually playing the flute. It looks so absurd. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that shot. There's definitely some stuff where they're like, they just hand wave it away because they're like, nobody can see this on TV. And then you see it in full HD and you're like, dude, everyone can see that. It's funny. All right, what am I doing? I'm making a new buffer. So the value that I really want here is I just want to check to see if it's like a void or not. So it's like an occupancy check. It's just a simple bit to be like, is there something in this block? Might call it like the block filled buffer. I don't want to call it something crazy long like occupancy. Everyone's having a great Saturday. Let's just call it whatever. This will just tell us whether a block's been filled or not. And that's great because we can actually use this, well, we'd need a different check for like whether a block was solid. fully solid. I don't know. We'll have to think about what we're talking about porous blocks, like a grill or something, or a vent. Because then it might say the block has been filled, but it's like it allows. I don't know. We'll decide what we want to do for that. We'll start with this. This is just a simple bit field buffer here. So structure of something like this. Let's do something 2D. This isn't 2D or 3D. Structure of a 3D buffer looks like this. Okay. Split that right. Hey, Mr. Magoo. You okayed for 40 minutes already? No worries. I appreciate the lurk. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you're having a good day. At least we know here the bitfield 64 is going to be like sufficient. Can I not make a buffer of bitfields for some reason? Oh no, it's just complaining because it's not implementing it's missing members. Yeah, add the members. We'll have to add a new component. I need a better component registration thing. Looks like I'm already a quarter of the way through my allocated number of components here. I was gonna change the naming convention of this. I was gonna have like buffer be first or something. We'll do it like this for now. If I'm going to continue to do this, well, this isn't alphabetical, is it really? So the block cutaway would actually be is going to become another one of these bitfield. These are super efficient because we're using a bitfield 64 to store an entire row, which is why we're using a 2D buffer, because we're actually describing a 3D volume, but each bitfield can store a whole row. So we're just needing to create a 2D structure of those bit fields, and that gives us our 3D volume. I need to stop trying to do this in some kind of alphabetical order, making my life hard. The cutaway rooms buffer. Wait, which one was the one I actually want to keep? I don't remember. Oh, we got a spam bot. Load the phantom, the phantom. Load the photon torpedoes. Ready, aim, fire.
That
never gets old. I need a better way of organizing these components. Room bounds. We're not gonna store room bounds anymore. We're like done. We're done keeping track of the bounds of the rooms because the rooms are not the kind of shape that can be uniform like that. So we're gonna stop doing that. Cutaway rooms. What is this buffer supposed to be? I don't remember. Cutaway rooms buffer. What do you store? Oh, you're the list of rooms in front of a given room. That's all right. We'll keep that for now. That needs to change at some point, but it's fine. Okay, Okay, we synchronized eventually here. We also need to set the component type. Okay, that's good enough for now. Why isn't that a thing? Oh, why did I write 3D? It's kind of confusing that I described this as being 2D. Even though it's used to capture 3D data. It's fine. It's kind of an implementation detail that this actually gets you 3D information. So you kind of need to know how it's stored. What else do we need for this? I got the length. So the length is actually going to be like one of these. Why is it like this? I don't know why it's written like that. Coding with a broken wrist is definitely harder. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's got to be really tough. I'll take it easy. Sapphire, I almost caught you by surprise. You're scrambling to find that the redeem. That's funny. Well, you were on it. You're on top of it. Well, hold on a second. Why is this stored here separately? Primary field. Wait a second. Oh. It's gotta be a record struct. We like ourselves record structs here. There we go. All right, there's our new buffer. All right, now we need to just be able to use this. We actually just need to get around to using it. All right, so now I'm building out my system group here. So the main system is still going to orchestrate everything. So we're not going to do the thing where we're like rushing to do everything every frame with like crazy multi-threading and stuff. We're not doing that. We're doing like the more like Godot style thing where we're almost doing more of like a server style thing where a group will be left to run on its own. It might even have multiple threads running in it, and it will handle the syncing between stuff that's like hot and cold, like the flood fill system versus the block editing system. We've got the edit system group. I should call this the block edit system group. Block editor. These are the group of systems that will run that. So real question is this system group going to own the systems within it? Like, should it create them? Because right now I think all of the systems are being just set up here, made here as part of the game, just because we've got one system normally. Are we going to have more than one system? Like, if you have systems operating in different system groups, are they just going to be different copies of the system? Maybe. Maybe. Oh well, we're using a parallel process here, so actually that's the correct thing to do right now. The other question is, should other system groups be able to talk to our systems directly? I don't know. I know I'm almost to immediately run into a situation where I want some cross-cutting concern between two different system groups, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. And eventually, we're not going to do stuff this way. We're going to do it. We'll process everything directly by querying entities, and we'll query for certain things. This is how we're going to be able to like render multiple ships at once and stuff like that. But right now, we can just take a shortcut here. And I'm actually not quite sure how to do things like the double buffering here with entity querying, unless we just tag them differently or something like that. I don't really want to do it with a tag. I don't know. We definitely have such a low number of entities at this point that it's like very awkward to do anything that we want to do, but that's the way. So what we also need to do is we need to set up a different series of nodes for sure. This set of nodes is not what we want anymore. You know, one thing I want to do, I kind of want to do like a backstop for the buildable area. I kind of want to diagram this out, actually. So how big is this? This is, so one block is 16 by 4. Don't make me do math. Don't make me do math. $10.24. Okay. Oh, that's not right. A block is actually this tall. Oh, that's awkward. Is it actually this tall? 16 by 14. Well, let's just make it 2048 by 2048. I kind of want to do this backdrop thing. How am I going to do this easily? Make this like a checkerboard layer. Oh, first, let's get the right palette here loaded. We could do low sat. Get a background here. The grid here. Okay, I'm not quite sure how this part's gonna work, but here, let's do this. You might be heading out, Sapphire. Hope you have a good rest of the stream. Hope everyone can get better soon. Thank you, Sapphire. Appreciate that. Block, editor, backdrop, mockup. I'm thinking about I'm struggling with the have a good weekend, Sapphire. Sorry. Kind of scatterbrained today. Is everyone still sick? I'm still sick. I missed the last 2 streams. I've been struggling. Also, this should be white, not black, but now let's just do it like this for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm thinking about a backdrop system that makes it easier to tell where you are in 3D space when you're building something. That's still a challenge for me. Figure that out. I just smudged my glasses. Rip. All right, so that's 4. 8. At least we definitively know like what the max build size is for one of our block spaces. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16. So we're just going to keep escalating here. That's 16. This is 32. 48. 64. Okay, so here's the bottom part. That's the bottom face. say Z face. Make a new layer. Say X face. So I'm not quite sure how tall this is supposed to be, is the thing I don't quite understand how this is supposed to work. I actually want to do the Y face first, I think. Everyone's having a chill Saturday. Feels almost like a lazy Sunday. If I wasn't sick, I'd be building some computers this weekend. I got a bunch of parts in. It's going to be fun. All right, so not only are we doing this block decomposition, we're also doing this overlapping blocks thing, where previously our blocks overlapped, which caused a lot of problems. We're switching to a non-overlapping model, which it looks a little weirder. The auto tiler makes it okay, I swear. But it means I have to look at this shape here. So we're doing this one. So this is 16 by 11. 16 by 12 with the gap. The vertical line is 8. 4 by 8. Okay, so what I don't want to do is just have some solid line here the whole time. So I don't know, do I want to do like some kind of dotted line? Should we do a dotted line for the backdrop? Should we do solid? This is looking huge, so maybe we should do something. Start with like a dotted line or something. I don't quite know how this is supposed to work. Like that. Oh, no overlap. Remember, no overlap. The whole point of this is no overlaps. So this is awkward. So how does this work? Do I hate that? Is that okay? I guess it's okay. I don't totally like what happens here, though. Oh no, because you're going to be like this. Alright, we're going to try it with the dotted line. We might hate this. We're going to try it. I might want to do it. I don't know. I'm not convinced this is something one can easily do with our graphical style we've got set up here. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we're in ads. I hope you're all holding on to your ads. Okay, so that's 8, 12, 16. I really hope that this 64 by 64 by 64 really encourages a lot of verticality. I'm really excited for the kind of shapes we'll be able to do. So this is 4, 8. We're at 16, so it's probably a good time to copy this all again. Not sold on the dotted line, but I want to see it. I want to see it at scale. That's 32. Okay, here we go, 64. Oi. Oi. Okay, there's the top row, 64 wide. This is such a ridiculous scope for a maximum buildable area. This is going to be so cavernous and confusing. But this is the sweet spot here. So we're just going to see what we get going here. I'm actually not quite sure how I'm going to tessellate this in a way that doesn't make me hate myself. I should probably draw the bottom part and then just attach it. Yeah, okay, do something like that. So we're gonna do how does this work? So middle two. So this should be like this. It should be like this. Is that not? No, that's not right. Thank you all hanging out. I appreciate everyone hanging out here while I'm doing something deeply boring. This is so wrong. It's like this. 1, 2, and like this. Appreciate him. We go. So this is going to be one of the middle rows. Okay, but it needs to have something in the center. It needs to be like this. This is how I do it. Like this. All right, here we go. Now we're cooking. I'm really excited about some of the potential for complex shapes with this new block pattern. This much more fundamental block shape thing that we got going on. Oh, so I need to fix the corner here. You need to be hard-edged. So that's what we got going on here. Yeah. All right. All right, here's a row. Here's one of the middle rows. Move this up. Whoa. There we go. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this dotted line work here. Let's just see it a few more times, I guess. Oh. Before I moved it, I should have copied it. There we go. This might not be necessary, having the line work. It might be enough, because what I'm imagining is that, like, a line... You can basically... The idea is that you'll be able to see the axis extending out, the axis lines extending out from the block that you're placing, and it'll go to the wall. And I guess that's maybe not helpful. Maybe it's helpful, even if you can't really see it against the backdrop. Because so far, I do not like whatever this is. So far, this is not making me... This does not bring joy. Whatever this pattern is. Spark joy. There's also a question of how many blocks you'll even be able to see. Okay, so I think this backdrop thing is wrong. It's the wrong approach. What you do want, though, is you do want things... Lines jutting out from the block, I think. Like, I think you want to extend the lines out to some kind of backdrop. Maybe the backdrop is more local. Or maybe it extends endlessly and it's just compared to the blocks around it, you have some sense of space. Because that's the thing that I'm really trying to capture here. Is the relative positioning of things, and this does not seem to be doing it. That said, we have some idea of the scope of this size. So, this is bad. What if we had, like, occasional... No. I could see the argument for, like, maybe 4x4 solid block. Because 4 blocks is still about the implied scope of a room. So what if instead of this, we did it like this? So forget this. Well. I think you're gonna see the backdrop of it so rarely. Yeah, I don't think I need a backdrop. It was interesting getting a sense of what a 64 by 64 by 64 block space looks like. It's about 2,000 pixels wide, which is interesting, considering a window is only going to be 640 wide. So you're never going to see more than a little more than a quarter of a full... I mean, no ship is going to take up the full 64 by 64 by 64. Certainly none that I design. Someone could do an obnoxious little Borg cube thing, but I don't know. Maybe we actually probably need to enforce a limit that's narrower than that maximum size. Depends on how much maneuvering you would allow a ship within a block space. If there's no maneuvering and everything's centered, then it's fine. It doesn't matter. All right, so let's do something else. Sorry, I'm a little unfocused today. I'm trying to be productive, but I don't have the focus. Hopefully we're still chilling here. We'll probably go for like another hour. Yeah, so we don't handle the rooms anymore. Well, oh no, I deleted that component type and we still use it. No, that's fine. I can fix that. I still have the files, right? Yeah. I don't know what happened there. My keyboard freaked out. Sapphire by Drummer Boy. That's funny. That is the song. Rather quite. Today, yeah. Yeah, it is quiet. It's Saturday. Most people have better things to do. Not that I'm saying anyone hanging out here doesn't have anything better to do. I actually really appreciate it. But it's a quiet stream, which is good. Yeah, I haven't been sick like this in a long time. I know I don't sound sick, but I finally got over all that stuff, that part of it, you know. Now I'm just kind of in a fog. All right, so the flags are set up. We just need to set the types up. Forgot that we still use this. We're trying to do this refactor in a way that the old method still works. It's like important to me that that's how I do this. So I know otherwise the project will just be unplayable for like weeks if I don't. I think it's important to maintain. All right, let's see if I fix this. Let's see if we can actually run this thing. So yeah, I think when you scroll in the new system, it's not going to do this kind of camera up, camera down thing. You're actually just going to scroll through on the Z level. So you'll scroll back. And so when I say there's going to be lines coming out of the cursor, I'm imagining like when you have this block, you'll have straight lines extending that way, this way, and like down. As like a kind of like rangefinder thing, so you can tell like where you are. I think that's helpful. I'll call them like guides or something like that, like block guides. Because otherwise, I think it's kind of hard to see where you're building relative to something else. I want to add those guides. But yeah, it makes sense. I realize now it doesn't really make sense to have a backdrop unless the backdrop is like arbitrarily close. Like it could just be the size of the view window and it moves with you, kind of. I don't know. We'll think about it. Yeah, we're not going to do this camera scroll up and down thing anymore, I don't think. Or if we do, it'll be really subtle. Because you don't cover very far. Okay, well, at least it all still runs. All right, now we're going to start writing out our parallel systems. And again, I'm not sure if we want what we want to be accessible outside of the system group. I guess for right now, let's just presume nothing. Well, let's just presume everything is accessible outside of the system group. We'll have like a block tooling system. That might be the system that changes the tools. Block editing system. Or shaping system? Block shaping? Call it a block shaping system, why not? It's supposed to be a sealed class. So this is our new version of the tooling system. So the function of the edit system is going to move into the edit system, the block editor system group. It's going to handle the synchronization. It's going to handle all this stuff. So we'll do all this. We'll move this stuff over. Do this part first, actually, before we do this. Like this. Okay, you want to know about tasks. You don't need to know about this. I kind of like how straightforward it is, storing all the systems just in the game, in the base, in the root here. If there's a really free-form communication between systems, I think that makes sense, but we're just going to do it like this for now. So what we do need to do is we need to add this game.world.addBuffer component. Block filled buffer 2D. Oops. Let's say bit field 64. You need to know about that. Is there a reason? Why do I need to pass this and this? It's because I buffer 2D component bit field 64. You don't actually have a way of telling us what your type is, huh? I say something like this. T, where T is a bit field 64. No, why do I don't need to do that. I could do this. No. Trying to think of a way where I don't have to pass this, the block forms, into the add buffer component. How would I do that? T1, T2, T1 comp. How do I know what the T2 is? There's really no way to get the T2 from the T1, huh? It's kind of awkward. Yeah, it's an awkward aspect of the ECS. I'm not going to fix it now, though. There's got to be a way to get this second type, this underlying type, without having to pass it. I guess I could just have something where it says like your type, your underlying type. Good night. All right, take it easy, Mr. Magoo. Not gonna get bogged down with that. There's an awkward boilerplate in my ECS, and there's not much of a way around that right now. You're not game.board sized, are you? Well, I need a way of getting a rect out of a bounding box. 0 to 63, 63, 7. Okay, so this has to change. So a lot of stuff depends on this. So we need a different... this block thing here? Where's the block? Blocked out faces, blocked out forms. Here. Block dot space.
Maximum warp.
You should sleep as well. No worries. Anyone who's got to head out, get some rest. No worries. Actually, how do I want to define this space? Probably as an bounding X. It's a line bounding box, huh? How's it going, No Jewel? Happy Saturday. So if I pass a single coordinate into a bounding box, it creates it with both of those. It just does that. And I guess that's fine. I was thinking maybe if I did that, I would want to go from 0 to whatever the max is, but we actually support axis-aligned bounding boxes. They don't have to be anchored to 0. They could be anchored into like a negative number. So I guess that doesn't work. Can I just do this? No. Can I do this though? Yeah. So here's going to be our constant size of a block space. We're having to create new structures because of this whole building in parallel requirement that I gave myself. It's kind of dumb, but so instead of game.board, we're going to say block.space. Oh, this is going to be, we're going to need to, I need a way of getting a rect from a bounding box. Like this. Oh, I need an explicit operator. Oops. Rhiannon, you're going to keep lurking and cooking. Thanks for the stream. Hope you get better. Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Rhiannon Journey. I appreciate that. I need a public static explicit operator. Actually, shouldn't I define this on the rect, not on the bounding box? And now I need the explicit operator. Do I have an explicit way of getting a vector 2i from a vector 3i? I actually get rid of that. I should just say. There we go. So we just lose the Z. That's tough for us, though, because that's not exactly what I want to do. I think I want each field to capture the X row. I think that makes more sense. Maybe not, though. No, maybe it makes sense to do it that way. Actually, maybe it does make sense to have each field capture the z-axis. So we're storing it in a 2D area. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe it does. I don't know. These spaces have so much data associated with them, but they're very small, at least relatively. Still, it's just not, it's not very efficient. We do very little like actual querying of entities so far. It's a little disappointing. Well, this is fine. All of this is mostly fine. These systems will need to get rerun. So let's not worry about that. All the sinks are fine. Away rooms, buffer, okay, we want to swap these. We actually want this one. Oh my lord, Rikia. How's it going? Thank you for the 300 bits. That's huge. Happy Saturday. How are you doing? I really need some kind of bit reaction effect thing. I can't figure out how to do it with SpeakerBot. I need to ask Bernardo how they do it over there at Tuner Nerds stream. They have all sorts of stuff happen when people give bits. You're always good? That's good. I've been sick. I'm getting better, but I'm still kind of under the weather here. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov past weeks. Really interesting. I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders. It's been fun. I'm finally starting to think, kind of somewhat run out of steam on it. You were sick last week as well? Oh, man. All right, so we've got this new buffer thing. So here's our block shaping system. It's gonna be the system we use to shape our blocks, I guess. That doesn't totally make a lot of sense. I don't know quite what to call that. I could call it a sculpting system, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting better. I'll probably be fine by Monday. I just wanted to make sure I streamed today because I missed the last couple. So we're moving real slow. We're having a very chill day. I'm still struggling to find the exact angle I want to tackle this big refactor. Right now we're just kind of reproducing a lot of behavior in parallel so as not to mess up the current way we do everything. But yeah, I hope you're doing better too. So we need to redo the tile system, the tool system, the fill system. Yeah, I think sculpting is probably the best word for this. Okay, and are you going to own your systems? Should a system know what group it belongs to? Should it like keep track of the group? In which case I need like an interface or something. So this is going to be our new version of the tooling system. So it's going to be interesting how the block form manipulation changes because we don't have compound forms. It's going to require some interesting changes. So like right now, a block form. These are our block forms. So there's deck, bulk, both, door, deco. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense now. Because they're not these compound things anymore. We've decomposed them to smaller components. So now a wall is not just a block that has its bulk occupied. It's not this compound thing which has this lower segment and this upper segment. Now it's just a block. It's full or it's not. And it's going to have some form to it. Like we'll probably have blocks that are just... We'll have probably blocks that are like conduits. For like power distribution and stuff. And we'll have different kinds of blocks. But right now... the distinction of like, oh, you have a deck, or you have a bulk, or you have both, or you have a door. You'll still have the door thing, because if you want to make a wall, you're just going to make a stack of blocks, right? If you want to make a door, you're going to make a stack of blocks that are of the door type. And then the system will figure out, okay, we've got a 2x3 section of door here. That's like a double door, right? There will be some kind of lookup into like the different door formats that are supported. It's gonna be weird. And then like a single door block will be like a hatch. Or maybe it's like a door that blocks off like a crawl space or something, depending on the directionality of it. It's all very implied based on like what's surrounding the block. So block forms is a different thing now. Hard to touch here though because we still use this everywhere else. I think I'll have like a block property enum is what I'll probably have, and that's where we'll record things, whether it's like a door or it's like maybe it's solid or not or something like that. Definitely some stuff to think about here. So where do we read the input? We read the input out here. DQ the input. So we assume if a block tool command comes in, we're processing it. I think I want to add a little more complexity to that because I want to distinguish between the actual sculpting part and like the change out your tools kind of part. We'll see. Yeah, there's weird stuff like hovering. So we used to use this to project shadows down the z-axis. I think we want to start doing something like this again. You know, maybe that's all I need to do actually is the shadow. Rather than project the line, we could just project a Oh yeah, we can do that. So what this did is it projected a shadow down to whatever surface was like below it, however far below it was. I think we want to do that for all three directions, just so you can try to see where you are relative to what's around you. So we can do the same thing, but in like each direction or for each axis. Yeah, I want to remember this. Appreciate everyone hanging out today. I know it's been quiet. I'm still in this kind of brain fog. So yeah, it'll be interesting to change some of this block form stuff. So we don't have the kind of same strict block merging stuff that we did before. We don't need to have the block merging logic really. Which that logic is stored here. So this is in the block forms. So like this specifies how the forms are transformed depending on what block is trying to merge with our block. Were you sick? Yeah, for the last week I've been sick, no Joel. I missed the last couple of streams. I'm getting better. but I'm still kind of out of it. This isn't the first like big, long, lingering cold I've had in a while. But I wanted to stream today. Probably wrap it up soon though. Yeah, I got to think about how I'm going to restructure these simple components. These aren't even components. These like buffer members, buffer values. I don't know what you call them. Buffer values is probably accurate. Wow, a lot of people here today. For anyone who's not familiar with what we're working on an FTL-like isometric 2D starship management game. Right now, we're still working on just reasoning about the space in which the game takes place. But I think this refactor is going to be really good for us. Having that freeform construction kind of options is going to be really nice for making really interesting spaces where you have like risers or like multiple levels inside a compartment. But yeah, it's pretty major transformation we're going through right now. But yeah, sorry, I'm still kind of out of it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here since we're about to head into another ad break. I don't want to subject you to that if I'm going to be wrapping up soon. But yeah, this was fun. Hopefully by Tuesday I should be a lot better and I should have a lot more focus and a lot better idea what we're doing. So hopefully we're a lot more productive next week. I shouldn't want to go so many days without hanging out with y'all. Yeah. Probably it for now. Appreciate everyone here hanging out today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you all next time. Bye.
Maximum warp.